Hello, welcome to Sparks 1524 coming to you from Niceville, Florida. I'm Nathaniel Miller. If you visit the Fort Walton Beach area of Florida, you'll discover why our little corner of the Emerald Coast is a vacation destination for the summer. Sun, sand, great weather, numerous waterways make this a haven for outdoor sports. However, our part of the state offers more than just the great outdoors. Announcing itself with a sign topped by a 44,000-pound T-12 Cloudmaker bomb, the Armament Museum is the only facility of its kind in the nation. Founded in 1975, the Armament Museum's mission is to tell the story of the armament used by the U.S. Air Force in defense of our nation. Now, the most obvious part of the Air Force's armament are the airplanes. However, this museum also goes into the story of the guns, bombs, missiles, and other systems used by our airmen to defend the country. Driving by the museum on Eglin Parkway will reveal a veritable Air Force of aircraft. At one glance you can see a World War II B-17 bomber, a sleek AC-130 gunship, and a space-aged SR-71. Pull into the parking lot and you'll see other such luminaries as an F-16 Fighting Falcon, F-15 Eagle, and of course the mighty and giant B-52 Stratofortress bomber. That's just the front yard, by the way. Walk around to the back of the museum, you'll find more aircraft on display dating back to the beginning of the jet age. One notable and highly noticeable aircraft is the B-47 Stratojet. Introduced into the Air Force inventory in 1951, this long-range bomber served until being eclipsed by the more famous B-52 in 1965. Another interesting warplane is the F-89D Scorpion. This early jet fighter served in the 1950s and 60s and is among the first U.S. fighters to be armed with guided missiles. The museum has one of my favorite aircraft on display, the F-100 Super Sabre. The F-100 was the first U.S. fighter capable of supersonic speeds and level flight. The museum's example is painted in the colors of an F-100 flown in 1967 by the late Air Force Colonel George Bud Day, Medal of Honor recipient and longtime Northwest Florida resident. Once you've completed your tour of the aircraft and munition systems on display outside the museum building, get ready to head inside. The air conditioning will be a nice break. This is Florida after all, but you'll plunge into a world of history of the Air Force and its weapon systems. Upon entering, you'll be in the shadow of a sleek F-105 Thunder Chief fighter bomber. Flying from 1958 through 1984, the Thud, as it was called, cut its teeth during the Vietnam War. An F-80 Shooting Star sits across the building. The Shooting Star was introduced into the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II as the U.S. first fighter jet. Seeing only limited service during that conflict, it became a mainstay of U.S. air power during the Korean War. Two World War II-era fighters will catch your attention, a P-47 Thunderbolt and a P-51 Mustang. The Thunderbolt, affectionately called the Jug due to its appearance, saw extensive service in Europe during the war. The P-51 on display is painted in the colors of the Tuskegee Airmen. These were African-American pilots, aircrew, and maintainers who fought heroically overseas while also fighting racial discrimination at home. Surrounding these aircraft and scattered across the upper mezzanine level are displays showcasing the missiles and bombs carried aloft. These exhibits will allow you to follow the development of aerial munitions from the days of dumb bombs that aircraft simply drop to the latest, deadliest, and most pinpoint accurate smart bombs. The F-105's M61 Vulcan cannon is visible for curious visitors to examine. An extensive gun vault displays decades worth of aerial guns, from experimental units to weapons that made it to war. The museum is currently working on an expansion project that will feature displays covering several subjects, including the Air Force Special Operations Command and the history of African Americans at Eglin Air Force Base. This will greatly increase the museum's footprint, enabling it to continue telling the story of the armaments carried into the wild blue yonder by the United States Air Force. Admission is free, making the Armament Museum an educational, entertaining, and economical way to spend an afternoon soaring into the wild blue yonder. Thank you for your time. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that little like button below. If you're interested in the museum and wish to learn more about it, I've included their website in the description below. Please check them out. They have a lot to offer. If you're curious about my adventures, you can read my column on my visit at the museum, which is also linked in the description below. Again, thank you for your time, and until we meet again, remember to always go and do great things.